Hi, welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video for the pilot episode of Manimal. This is another of the shows that I remember watching when I was younger. I think I remember being quite scared of it due to the lead actor changing into different kinds of animals. I really can't remember any details of any episode. I know that the show doesn't have a great reputation now in hindsight, but I'm still looking forward to watching it. So let's see what happens in the first episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. So Melody Anderson, probably most famous for being in the film Flash Gordon. That's New York.
$1,000 a piece, packed 10 to a box, times 200 boxes, $2 million.
These weapons should have quite an impact on our cause.
What is the cause?
Fill the order, Drew.
I'm on my way, boss.
So that's the star of the show.
Official police business. Follow that cab.
You got it, pal. Hop in.
Well, that cab driver looks familiar. This is the bit I remember being quite scared of when I was little. Sorry, if you're driving a cab and you hear somebody in the back going, I'd be quite scared. It's like, who's in the car? Darth Vader?
But the guy's heading into the warehouse and the other taxi's taking off. What do you want me to do?
How did he open the door? Oh, he opened the window, didn't he, before he changed? Well, that's a bit unfair. He's gone without paying the cabbie. And where are his clothes? I'm assuming they're in the back of the cab. I see they keep track or evidence of all the guns and things they're selling or shipping. Nice little paper trail. So basically he's turning into different animals, but he has his human mind when he's an animal.
Speaking of hijacking.
What is it?
Cops sitting right on us.
I can imagine driving and having that to the back of your truck. Okay, so he did that on purpose so they'd cause an accident or something, or at least disrupt their style of driving so that the police would then stop them and I assume discover the weapons. So that's quite a good tactic.
Mackenzie, come back here. That guy's got a machine gun and God knows what else.
Call for backup!
Oh, he's been hit.
Damn, what are you guys doing? Starting your own guerrilla unit?
Oh, that's
Hey, what the?
great. Oh.
Oh, Lord!
So not only you got to try and stop gun runners and people with Uzis, now you got to track a wild animal. Oh, who's bleeding? He's leaving a trail. He's going to have changed back into a man. Well, I assume a naked man.
Please.
Where's his clothes come from?
There's a wild animal on the loose. You could have been killed. It's a dead end. There's no way out. What about the damn panther? Anybody answer the APB?
There's a guy, does consulting work for us. He's a professor over at NYU.
Wonder who that's going to be.
Well, he specializes in the use of animals in police work.
And I heard that too, miss.
Were you on a consulting job last night in that alley? Midtown Manhattan. About 3 in the morning.
Oh, I'm afraid we professors can't keep those sort of hours.
How can you deny you weren't there?
What? is your continuing interest in these investigations?
My partner was gunned down near that alley. He could die.
Oh, I thought he was dead. He's not dead yet.
What about right now? I mean, the guy's got to be on the run. The sooner we get on this thing.
So he winced because of his wound.
You don't look so good.
I don't feel so good. I'm afraid bullet wounds are rather painful.
Head for the Moments Club.
You really think Drew was going to show up there after shooting the cop?
Why not? Been observing him for weeks. He feels safe there.
So they seem to be tracking down these gun runners. He's a professor in police sciences. So I'm not sure of his motivation. I assumed obviously to stop criminals, but there's got to be more to it than that.
Strictly routine. I wouldn't dream of hassling anybody.
Hey, Drew!
Would you recognise her?
Why are you following me?
You know why. I do feel a bandage. You got shot chasing a panther.
Okay. I thought she was going to say you got shot as a panther. It was just like, that's a huge leap to get to. But she thinks he was chasing the panther last night and got shot doing that.
Right now, I'm taking in the man that shot my partner. Hold it, please!
I've said this in multiple shows I've watched before, but I hate it when people draw a gun halfway across a room and say freeze. The amount of people who could have got hurt then is unbelievable, and he could have escaped. Why wouldn't she have just walked 2 seconds up to him? She'd have been right on him and done that. There's no reason she couldn't have done that. I hate it when they do that.
He was with a girl last night in Jersey. I don't doubt she'll back his story. Man's a pro.
We have the man who gunned down my partner sitting right in front of us. There has to be something we can do. I can find the warehouse those guns came from on my own. It may take me the rest of the night, but I know the approximate area. Down by the pier. I'll find it.
Oh, well, that's a stupid thing to do, to shout that out when he's there.
I assume that performance was for the benefit of our criminal friend.
Okay.
You think it'll work?
I take some of what I was thinking back.
He could warn his lawyers, and then his lawyers could warn his friends.
Yeah, and as soon as they start to move the guns, I'll spot the warehouse.
But he knows where it is.
Well, actually, I normally ask my bright students to stay after class.
Yeah, I bet you do. I hope he's got tenure, else he'll get chucked out of that college. University.
Look. Simpson's sewing machine. See? It's working.
Were they following the truck, or were they just heading in the direction it came from to find the main warehouse? Which he knows where it is. I know he does change into other animals, but I think the panther was the one he changed into the most. His clothes were ripping, so how did they... If his clothes rip every time he changes, how were they okay when he changed back?
Hey, we got somebody in here! Where? Okay, hey, we got a guy in. Hold your fire!
Well, it's lucky nothing went off, but at least she's now got rather a lot of things to play with.
We got her! She ain't going anywhere! Let's get out of here! This whole place is gonna go up!
I assume that'd be self-defense. I mean, throwing a hand grenade at a load of people, the odds are that was going to kill them. Or at least severely maim them. I assume as they're all criminals trying to shoot her, that would be okay. So it's sort of be justified, I suppose. So they've all got Uzis. She just has a handgun, so... But yeah, I think a load of ammunition has just been set on fire, so not good having a fire in a place with all the hand grenades and explosives and ammunition. Oh, but that hurt. That's a hell of an explosion. So was he injured as well from, I assume, the force of the explosion? Oh, it's that pulsating bit, I think, that got me. I can't remember what time this was broadcast back in the day. It must have been after the watershed. This isn't really young kids kind of TV.
What are you doing here, Professor?
How do his clothes appear?
Want to know if and when your gun runner was sprung? Now.
They can't let him out, Murdoch. He was our only lead. Ty, may I speak to the professor? It's urgent. He's on his way over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, that saves on cab fare, I suppose. Oh, he's going to watch him from the air. Good way to follow someone. Why didn't he do that the other night? Instead of getting that cab to follow him.
Hey, hey!
Know the convoy route yet?
It comes when the colonel gets his next installment.
Any idea what's in those trucks?
It's the most important and dangerous money you'll ever earn.
So he's following the main guy. So she. A bit too closely, though. Oh, I bet the pigeons will fly off. They see a hawk or falcon, whatever it is, coming in.
Don't concern yourself with spies. Just line up 8 men you can count on.
You want to take on the United States Army with only 8 men?
They move nerve gas with the lowest possible profile.
Nerve gas.
Excuse me, sir. I'm with the police department.
Get your camera. Get the photos.
There is a woman up there with a camera. She's aiming right at us.
Aren't we being a little overly cautious?
Mr. Jordan, see to it that woman does not leave this park with that camera.
I quite like the way they got the good mannerisms on the animals. When she said there's a woman over there watching us with a camera, that they had they had footage of the bird looking that way and then looking back. It's all well synced up to what's going on. I quite like that.
Detective Mackenzie at Midtown, right?
Oh, first of all, nick his camera and then nick his bike. Oh. Oh, then break the camera. So is he following the woman? Does he change back? And breaking and entering. Well, entering. Don't know if he did break. That's a bit creepy. I mean, it's got a legal reason to be in there. If he's caught. I don't know if he's limited to the animals he can change into. I know we see a certain number. Part of me thinks it's... well, it's 2 ways it could go. Either he can only change into certain animals, or they, due to budget reasons, they kept it to a certain number of animals so they could reuse shots. Also, if he can change to lots of animals, that's going to cost a lot more money, showing all the different animals. But I wonder if there's a limit to what sort of size animal he can change into, because he's obviously a panther, comparable to a human, just bit smaller. But a hawk, obviously, or the bird, is a lot smaller. So I don't quite know if he could go smaller again, so he could like a fly or something, because that'd be the easiest thing for it to turn into. He could then spy on anyone. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, hello, Colonel Hunt. I've been expecting your call.
I have mixed news. The shipment you've been waiting for, well, in my estimation, is going to be quite vulnerable.
He turned into a cat. convenient. He literally is a peeping tomcat.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was startled.
Convoy's being stepped up to tomorrow afternoon.
So it gives us almost no time to prepare.
Why was his head in there? Rolls Royce. Someone's got some money.
Typo positive? Where's the other one?
There is no other one. Both blood samples were from the same man.
And what about the panther?
You didn't give me any panther blood, just human.
Oh, she collected blood sample.
I analyzed those 2 samples you gave me. They both come from the same source. Blood type O positive. Human.
You just wouldn't think it was someone turning into an animal. She might think he's involved somehow, the professor, but you wouldn't be thinking anything to do with animals. It's just too huge a leap to make. It's impossible.
I'll take Jordan. You can take Drew.
You want me to lean on Drew?
So what's his job?
2 military trucks disguised as moving vans.
Why do they change drivers?
Beltway Motel.
Tell you what, never had any complaints. In fact, you were in for the night of your life.
What is it with people just walking into rooms like that, in people's houses?
'Cause I don't like surprises.
That's a hell of a surprise. I have to admit, I think seeing a snake like that would make me pass out as well.
Hey, what do you think? Don't upset him. It's called Operation Red Dog. It's a military convoy disguised as a civilian. They're going to change drivers at some motel. There's going to be 8 of us in Paris. I don't know the details, okay?
I'll take him in, Ty.
Just don't move around so much. Oh, no. Woman.
Oh, yeah? Do you hear me, Professor?
Oh, she thinks it's the professor.
Anything.
Say good advice, Miss Mackenzie.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm assuming we were meant to think it was the professor, but it was kind of obvious it wasn't. Just the way all things were worded. But she assumed it was the professor, which is why she happily went up and grabbed the snake. So that's quite funny. So she does, I'm not sure which yet, think that he could turn into animals. Again, that's such a huge leap to make that. And not just that, she also thinks he can change into multiple animals. I'm assuming she thinks he's the panther, the hawk, and the snake. I mean, it's one thing to think he could turn into one animal, but to think he could turn into multiple animals, I mean, that's just like a whole another level again. It's just weird to think that.
What are you doing here?
I live here.
So he's taken her back to his place.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
She's undressed. That's creepy.
How did these close? I mean, how did you...
Yeah.
Did you...
Miss Mackenzie, I am a licensed doctor. And you have been under a great deal of stress.
I'm a licensed doctor. You've been under a great deal of stress. I took you back to my flat while you were unconscious and undressed you. That's my defence, Your Honour. Whoa.
Why don't you just lie down, and we'll talk about this in the morning.
What about the
Why don't you take this?
prisoner, the criminal guy?
Please.
Oh, yeah. And now you're a drugger.
Sleep well.
Good. I was hoping she did that. Was that a real panther that he's kept, or is that him? We saw a hawk then, or again, or a falcon, or whatever it is. I don't know. Ah, okay. I'm gonna say that's a real panther. Well, that's pretty horrible. Him keeping a panther in that tiny little room. indoors in a basement, no sunlight. It's fake plants by the looks of things. That's horrible.
Experiments in transformation.
I'd been working for military intelligence when I and my army driver, Corporal Tyrone Earl, were captured.
Okay, so that's how they know each other.
Oh, what do you say, Corporal? What do you fancy for dinner at Chateaubriand?
Why was he fighting in the Vietnam War? He's British. That was an American war. That doesn't quite make sense. Luke, I am your father.
Man, you okay? You hyperventilating or something?
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's that pulsating. Oh. My God, he's probably sitting there thinking things couldn't get any worse. And he's about to have a panther next to him in the cage. Dinner time.
No.
So is it kind of recognising him as a alpha?
Give me that gun. I said you want to give me the gun.
Like hell I do.
Well, that's interesting. He said, you want to give me the guns. It was kind of like, I can't think of the word, not hypnotising her, but he was trying to influence her to give him the gun, like he has some sort of powers to do that as well, but didn't seem to work on her. Or was he just being chauvinistic and just, 'cause he's the man, give me the gun sort of thing? Don't know.
Changing from one life form to another. If a man could do that, some might call it a very great gift.
Or a curse.
No. Don't think it'd be a curse. He seems to choose when he wants to do it. It doesn't seem to happen spontaneously that we know of yet, so no, doesn't seem to be a curse.
But I can call the department and make sure they know about the convoy.
They'll never believe you anyway.
Why wouldn't they believe her? She's a policewoman ringing up with... She's already been investigating it, and she's ringing up with a lead on a robbery of nerve gas. Surely they'd at least look into it.
Excuse me, Colonel. I have NYPD on the line about an Operation Red Dog.
Colonel Hunt here.
Oh, and he's the one involved.
I'm not sure I know what you're referring to, Lieutenant. Can you be a little more specific?
Something wrong?
He recognises the voice.
You mean we just warned the very men responsible for the hijacking?
Precisely.
Gotta go back and tell the captain.
No, I don't think
Not
so.
good, that. Okay, that he's not going to believe. So they believed it so far. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. That's the point. They're not going to believe it.
Where have you been? Not sure. Never slept so long in my life. I think I had a dream.
Oh, they let him go. That's weird. Why would they go ahead with this? He knows that people are on to him, including the police. The colonel now knows that the police are on to it. Why would you go ahead with this? That's ridiculous. You deserve to be caught.
All right, it's starting. Okay, the relief escort teams are heading back to their room from the restaurant. Take them.
Yeah, who is it?
Pest control. We got a call. There's some black widow spiders loose in there.
So they're going to gas all the people? And replace all of them with their own men.
No matter how many times they change the route, they still have to start from the same place.
Where are you going?
Where no man can follow.
I assume back into a bird so we can fly and keep an eye on them from above. That makes the most sense, that one, to be able to follow them that way. As long as a bigger bird doesn't attack him. She's way too close.
We may have a problem.
Yeah, even I know you follow many cars back.
Problem? No, no problem.
We think there is. Out of the car. Now.
So I wonder if he's if he's got a bit of sort of Doctor Dolittle skills as well. I don't literally mean talking to animals, but like he did with the panther earlier, can he sort of influence them or maybe control other animals as well? I was just thinking about that guard dog then that was walking around. If a guard dog sort of rushes towards him, can he sort of stop it and calm it down? Well, I guess we'll find out, but we just know what his abilities fully are.
They've taken the nerve gas to the docks, Pier 75. They're going to sail tonight.
Then how do we stop a ship?
That's why tonight we're going to need some help.
Okay. So this implies he can talk to animals. That's risky though. He's putting all these animals at risk. I mean, at the pier they've all got Uzis and machine guns. They can all get killed. It's a bit unfair. How's he got a key? Be hilarious if this backfires now. They all maul him and eat him. So they all kind of see him as like, say, the alpha male. I can't remember what year this was made. It was early 80s. I think it was very late 70s, 78 or 79. I'll have some information here. There's a film, An American Werewolf in London, I think it's called, where someone turns into a werewolf, and I think they use very similar effects to this. The way he changes, I think is very similar. I think that's where they kind of got the idea from for Manimal. Was from that. Again, I'll try and find some information about that, and I'll probably scatter it throughout the episodes. I think that's where it's come from. Can't have been cheap. I mean, by today's standards, it doesn't look great, but it can't have been cheap at the time to have done. The makeup there, the transitions, wouldn't have been cheap to do. I quite like it. It is cheesy, but it's actually quite good. I think that really freaked me out when I was little, seeing that. So I don't know how he's getting them to follow him. I don't know if you could see that, but obviously the implication is that all those animals are together at the same time following him. Obviously, you only saw them come down the steps one at a time, and there was a very quick cut. Obviously, all the scenes were spliced together because they couldn't have those animals together. They would have killed each other. So, yeah, it was careful camera work for that entire scene to make them all look like they were together. It's ridiculous they're still going ahead with this with so much heat on them at the moment.
I hope you can swim, sweetie.
I can't, so I'd be in trouble.
Oh, where you going? Where you going?
Oh, I saw the dogs run off you. God, can I just turn around and be a lion there? I think he could easily have sprayed it with the Uzi, though. Oh, he's going to use the gas. Oh, is that the nerve gas? Or just some sort of knockout gas? Well, he wouldn't use the nerve gas, that must have been just knockout gas. It's just weird, because I assumed when they caught those soldiers in that rumour, they sprayed them with gas, you saw it like smoke. So I would assume the same sort of effect would happen there if it's knockout gas, but I don't know, a bit weird, a bit confused. Alright. So he's now unconscious as the panther, and the other animals there all sort of roared as if they knew he was unconscious, which kind of implies that he can control them. And now he's unconscious, he can't control them anymore. Oh, yeah, let's try to work out what his abilities are. Okay, so we go going to change back. Magically, his clothes will have sealed themselves up. If I remember rightly, the American werewolf version of his change is a bit more brutal because you hear like bones cracking as he's changing. So now they're all going off because they're not being controlled anymore.
Who's this?
That's the same guy that I saw with that police chick when I got busted. Just found him lying here.
Put him in the cargo hold with the girl.
Why? Why not kill him quickly? You haven't even got to use a gun. I'm sure someone's got a knife. You should just quickly stab him silently or slit his throat or something. Job done. Why have they kept them? That makes no sense.
Until they hit the 12-mile limits. After that, who needs a hostage?
But they need both of them as a hostage. That's a good point, but they had her.
Can you hear me?
No, this was
I know it's all my
changing
fault.
again.
I should have listened to you.
So she's going to find out for definite now.
Professor, is that you?
That's a handy little trick. See, let's look at that. I think, unfortunately, my instinct would be to raise the gun and probably shoot. I really think it would be my instinct to do that. Or close the door quickly.
Excuse me.
Lady, this is the last mistake you're ever going to make.
She had no idea he was going to do that.
You were saying?
And they're still outnumbered with people with guns.
Sleep well?
Like a child.
That's a rather sudden cut. Everything worked out okay.
We still haven't caught the colonel.
Not a problem. He'll confess.
How did the shark get in there? An alligator, at least I can understand how it could have got in the pool. But so did they make him confess or did they eat him? Okay. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed it. It's going to sound weird, but it's not quite as cheesy as Automan was. The acting was a little bit better. The quality of the lines were a bit better. Better. I think the performance was better. I think probably the budget. No, actually no. Automan's budget was higher, but I think they used most of that on special effects, not on the quality of acting or the storylines. Again, this was full of plot holes. I mean, the end scene where you see them all in that room, and all of a sudden it cuts to, oh, it's all done. Yeah, we caught them. That's a bit weird. But I think the special effects and the transformations aren't bad for the time. They were quite advanced. I really wish I could remember what time it was broadcast. It must have been after the watershed. I can't imagine that they'd have that kind of transformation going on before the watershed. Plus, I don't know. I was going to say, is the storyline darker than like other similar sort of shows? But maybe not. You find gun runners in other shows, machine guns being fired. I think it's the transformations that are the sticking point for it. So I don't know. I'll try and find out and have some information about that. So she was a police woman, or is a police woman, but she was on the beat. She was in uniform, and then seemed to be out of uniform. So she now is a detective. Don't quite know how that works. I don't understand why the professor was looking into the gun running in the first place. That wasn't really explained. How that sort of happened. I'm assuming she's obviously going to ask him for help in the future for cases and things, and he'll help out. Or he'll be looking into things for some unknown reason, and she'll be involved as a policewoman. But I thought there were 13 episodes, but there's actually only 8, I think. So it's even shorter than most shows. So again, I don't know why it was cancelled, but I assume low ratings. That's the usual reason. But yeah, I don't think it was that bad actually. I did quite enjoy it. Looking forward to the next one. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and I shall see you for the next episode. Be seeing you.